I wonder why, he says. I wonder why. Are people leaving the left? Why are people unsubbing? Come back.
This is a very interesting topic for me, and I find it to be extremely compelling because obviously, like, I've been on the internet now for like, I'm 34. I've been on the internet for 25 years. I got the internet in like 1999, I think. It might have been 2000, somewhere around there.
I think I got the internet in like 2006. I was a child, probably about the same age he was when he got internet for the first time.
And I've been on the internet plugged in as long as I possibly could be. Like, I remember, you know, you couldn't, you know, like the AOL CDs. I remember all of this stuff. And so I've seen how all of this has evolved over the years. And I think it's an incredibly interesting way.
So my grandpa was the one who was doing all the internet stuff. So we had some somewhat older technology. I probably had some of the same technology that he was using because my grandpa didn't like to get the brand new technology. He thought the older technology was just as good, which at that time, yeah, kind of. They weren't like locking people out of updates back then like they are now.
To look at things. I remember like I was looking up stuff for like N64 and Super Nintendo games on my you know, on my computer and on the school computers on the internet. I was looking it up on Google and I'm like, wow, this website has everything. So yeah, for me, this is extremely interesting.
School computers, when I was in school, they hadn't figured out a lot of the bad websites yet. And I was getting on stuff like Newgrounds, Andycon.com or Andcon. I don't know how to pronounce it. ANDKON.com. I was playing games and stuff.
Because like I've seen this happening ever since its genesis 25 years ago. And then you saw like, you know, commentary stuff happening probably in like the mid 2000s.
When I woke up this morning, we had lost 5,000 YouTube subscribers.
Wow. Compared
to where we were last night.
I have a theory for this.
Now, the first thing I thought was,
let's take a look at that. Ooh, it's minus 10,000.
It's probably more than that by now.
Is this a glitch?
Mm-hmm.
We've been on YouTube for 15 years or something like that. And subscribers always just go up. They just never go down. They go up. Is something wrong with my channel? Is someone attacking my channel? What's going on?
There is something wrong with your channel, and I will get to that.
So I started texting.
Mm-hmm.
And I texted Brian Tyler Cohen. And I texted Tyler Cohen and Brian Cohen and Brian Tyler, all of them. I texted all of them.
So I think that there is a mixture of things going on. I think that it was bots that were boosting these accounts to make it seem like they had more followers and subscribers than they actually did. It was lefties that were barely into politics but were just kind of latching on to all these people on the internet because, you know, they want to know what's going on. And now they really just don't care because they lost and they don't see themselves winning ever again. They think that they've lost outright, flat out, just never going to win again. So they don't care anymore, so they're out. And then you got the right-wingers who were latching on to either see what the left was talking about or just to hate. And all those people, all those bots and all those people don't need to be there anymore. So they're all just leaving in droves at once.
I texted Jesse Dollimore. I texted Luke Beasley and Farron Cousins and Sam Cedar. And
these are like other
every single one of our channels since last night is hemorrhaging subscribers.
Roach out! Everybody get off the ship! Get out! We're sinking! Get out of here! Get out of here! Oh shit! Oh fuck!
That's 100% what happened. 100%. That's like pretty much what I just said, but he said it in a comedic way.
Obviously, they're running away. That you lost. Of course, people don't want to. Bro, yes, exactly. Of course, it's bot. No, yeah, that's the reason why it happens. It's obvious.
What is it that is going on? Here is.
And also, like, I think that there's a lot of people that are really fucking mad at a lot of these, like, leftist commentators, because everything that you've been hearing has been that Kamala Harris had it in the bag. She was going to win. We're going to put Trump in jail and everything's going to be normal again. And then it turns.
Don't forget calling all of his supporters Nazis and garbage, and not even the Democrats at the top, just like the regular everyday Democrats were saying these things. And now the regular Democrats are saying that the election was stolen and that there was election fraud, just like what happened in 2020 with the right. So it's just like, man, at least be first. At least be first.
Out that you could not have been more wrong. So when you are, and you think about, like, what is the function of a media site? What is the function of a media, service or anything? The function is to accurately inform the user about what is true. So if you're listening to a weather channel and they say, yeah.
I've also got another theory. So in 2020, pandemic happened. Everybody was online. Everybody was paying attention to everything, because what else were you gonna do? So everybody saw everything that was going on with the election. And then that was the only time that people really paid attention. And before that, all the elections were on TV except one, and that was with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and we didn't really know how to navigate that. So next election comes about, Democrats think, not just Democrats, corporations that back the Democrats, think that they know how to navigate social media, and they don't realize that we all have memories. We used to not, because everything was on TV. So they curated everything that we saw. So they kind of had a curation on what we were thinking. But with the internet, we got everything. We can look up all this information. We can look back to see what happened 4 years ago, if we actually don't remember something. But for the big stuff, we do. And that's why it couldn't happen again. And all of the things that did happen again, everybody saw it and posted about it and said, hey, this already happened.
Yeah, it's going to be a sunny day outside and it's raining. And then the next day they say, yeah, it's going to be a rainy day outside and it's sunny. You're going to be like, I think this weather channel is bad. I'm going to look for another one. And so when you feed people bullshit and you tell people things that aren't true, they're not going to follow you and they're not going to listen to you.
And then you say those bullshit things again. Like, say people barely believed you the first time. You say it again, you try that again, they're not gonna believe you the second time. It's the boy who cried wolf.
Because they're looking for you to know what's going to happen and to give insight on things. And it's very clear that that insight was completely flawed. That's the reason why people are going to leave. It's because, and there are always going to be people that just, all they want to hear is their own propaganda repeated back at them. Absolutely true. However, it's not that simple.
I don't like that, actually. I feel like if people are saying the things that I want to hear, that they're trying to manipulate me. I don't know if that's just something wrong with me, but it's worked out for me for the media. Except I don't know what's real anymore. Probably nothing's real.
A lot of people lost credibility about knowing how the country thinks. Yeah, exactly.
Is a graphic. As you can see, subscribers just go up, 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 and they are down. It is not just YouTube subscribers. We are seeing record cancellations of paid memberships.
This is true too. So this is that a lot of people want to be on the winning team. If you want people to agree with you, tell them that other people agree with you. It's crazy how hard herd behavior goes with humans.
This is somewhat true, that people do want to be on the winning team. But some people, they stand their ground. They don't care about who's on the winning team. They have their own team, and they feel like they're losing. And that's when they grow in numbers. And that's what happened here with the Trump situation. We felt like we were losing, and we were like, we are not going to lose. I say we. I always say this, but I got lumped into this right-wing crowd. I am not right-wing.
There are multiple observed psychological studies for this. It is like this, it's basically settled science at this point. Like, it's social science. So, of course, people are going to get off the bandwagon when the bandwagon breaks a spoke. It's not going anywhere. They're going to get off. They're going to get on another bandwagon.
True.
Of course. How do people like this exist? I think that for a lot of people, it's upsetting for them that this happened.
I think for a lot of people, they got bored too. They get bored. Like every 2 years, it's a new thing. When Biden first started, it was Ukraine versus Russia. Now that's barely at the forefront. And then it was Palestine versus Israel. Now that's still leaving. I wonder what the next thing is going to be. Like, what are people going to be fighting about next? For the next 2 years, it's probably going to be Trump again.
Happens. And I think that what happens is that people live inside of their own delusions for long enough, and they convince themselves that they're real. And I think that's what happens the most, is that people become ideologically captured by a point of view, and that point of view becomes so all-encompassing. It's that this person only talks to other people that agree with them. They only see media that tells them that they're right. They have, like all of their friends think the same thing that they do. And they effectively create an echo chamber for themselves. And eventually something shatters that. And they're like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what's going on? And I think also there's a lot of people who don't want that, but they inadvertently put themselves in it.
There's a lot of people who really don't care either way either. The ones that are on the left and that are crazy. And they'll just say the things. And they, knowing that they're wrong and knowing that they're not true, but they say it anyway. And we can't explain this, but we know it happens. We know that there are these liars out there that will just say the lies.
And so these unsubs and people that are leaving the paid memberships, that is a result of it. It's because these are people that wanted to know what was happening, and you were wrong.
Also bots.
Pretty simple. And also, more importantly than being wrong, is you lost. Think about it like this on Twitch. Have you ever seen like a Twitch channel that starts losing viewers because it's losing viewers? Have you guys ever noticed this phenomenon happen?
I'll hear about somebody getting unsubbed to a bunch, and I'll be like, oh shit, what'd they do? And then I just might barely hear something that they might have done, and I'll be like, alright, well, I guess I'm unsubbing too. I don't really watch them that much.
Yeah. The chicken bleeding? Yeah.
It is not just YouTube subscribers. We are seeing record cancellations of paid memberships. Record cancellations. These are the people that keep the show running. Now, for a moment, I thought, if it's just YouTube, maybe YouTube is purging people who are inactive subscribers. And once a year, usually YouTube does this, and you see a little decline, and then numbers go back up. They're not doing it. They're not doing it. And if that were the case, we wouldn't be seeing paid membership cancellations on the website. So now I understand what is going on. It's terrifying, but it is happening.
Yeah.
A lot of people are checking out.
Yep.
I heard anecdotally from a couple dozen people who said, David, I just can't do it anymore. I just can't do it. I'm checking out. I'm out. And the reason that this is terrifying, not only because it puts everybody in left-wing media's livelihoods at stake and at...
Well, they put their own livelihood at stake by creating content that was inaccurate.
Yep. Not just inaccurate, just like flat out lying and then using hateful rhetoric and then saying the other side is using the dangerous hateful rhetoric. I mean, come on.
That's the problem. Like, so if I look at my YouTube channel, and I actually just pulled mine up. So we are massively down. We are down 50%. Do you want to know why? Because we took over 2 weeks off of YouTube.
I'm incredibly down right now because I did the same thing. I took the same 2 weeks off that he did pretty much. When he took a break, I was like, you know what, I'll take a break. And now my viewership is like 10% what it was. But I know why, and I know how to get it back up, and it's going to be after I move. Which, by the way, if you want to help me out, I just lost everything. Lost my childhood home. I've been living in this house for over 20 years. And I'm having to move out. It's pretty much empty right now. All I have is my setup. I have a PayPal down in the description.
We came back 4 million, 4 million, 3 million, 5 million views. We have been popping the fuck off. Been absolutely fucking insane. So yeah, and yeah, we're back in it. We're back in it. We're farming again. And do you want to know why? It's because people look back at the old videos. Oh, wow, we're actually almost at 3 million views. I didn't even see that. And so the reason why being banned is good, well, no, it was not good for the YouTube channel for sure. Like, definitely, like, we went down a lot. Like, we were at 132K video views. But the reason why, it's because we took a huge break. That's really the reason. Like, we took a break from the channel, and so now we're back. It'll take some time, and then that's it. And so, yeah, billion. We almost have 3 billion views on the YouTube channel now. And so, check monthly stats from the day you got banned. But you can see why people are not unsubscribing from my channel. It's because people can go back and they can look at the things that I said about different, like, situations. And I've got to tell you guys, I've been right a lot. And guess what? People want to know what's going to happen. And so they're going to watch somebody who gives them an accurate viewpoint on what's going to happen.
Tell me what's going to happen, Asma. I really want to know. I don't know what's going on right now. I don't know what's going to happen. And he's right. He's usually right.
It's literally that simple. You haven't at all? Okay. All right. Okay. You mostly are? Yes, I have a good track record. And one of those, chill, bro, show your ego. Oh, it's not ego at all. Like, I know that we have like people like that do this. You're like a streamer hater. Like, I function media autistic. Where, oh, I spend money on a streamer. I'm not some kind of a cuck. It's just weird guy, boohoo metrics. Yeah, just weird like streamer hater. Like, oh, I don't like streamers. Listen, if you hate your job, that's fine. But like, I don't want to hear about it. Anyway, it's other logical people. Yeah, it's just like weird, like it's like that kind of like old school Twitch viewer, right? Like salty, weird, like I hate streamers, Twitch viewers, but I spend all day watching them. Anyway, so
I get that a lot in my comments. There will be people that are commenting about how reaction videos are trash, and I'm like, you're here though.
I think that it's not ego, it's just the fact. Like, I have no problem saying when I'm wrong. And I think that, you know, recently there's been a pretty big example of that. So I have been wrong about things before, but I think I've also been right about a lot of things too. And so people are going to watch the content because they think that it's accurate. You have no idea about David Pakman. I don't know if you mean in general, but he's not the guy you think he is. Well, let me go ahead and let me look and see what you're saying. What am I not understanding? But also for a lot of people it is. He's not doing what you're saying. And what am I saying he's doing? Pac is not delusional lefty, to be honest. That's not the point. He said Trump would lose. No, I didn't. I said that a lot of people said that, and I think people in media said that. I never said that he explicitly said that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know nothing about David Pakman, but I know if he was repeating the same things that the mainstream media was repeating, then he 100% was repeating lies, whether he knew it or not.
That's it. And basically, I never said that. What I did say is that, and I started off by saying people don't want to watch somebody who is losing. That's a big reason. Also, he categorized himself as left-wing, right? It's not that I did, it's that he did. He literally said. That's not why. Yeah. Again, you insinuated it? Of course. Yeah, I mean, it's a possibility. There's like 10 different reasons.
Risk. It terrifies me.
I thought he's been pretty clear this whole time. I guess people are just stupid and don't know how context works and how words work.
Because our instinct is the opposite of what the right does, and we will get crushed if this is the way we respond to a defeat. The right wants us not to exist. The right wants to decimate independent progressive media.
Not completely true. Just the liars and the ones that are gonna actively be destroying all of the things that we built for 250 years.
And so when I
Well, I think that's not accurate, and I don't think that. I think that that is kind of accurate, but it's not complete. I think that left-wing people constantly go after media. Like, look at the amount of people that are trying to shut down Twitter's advertising and trying to make people not advertise on certain platforms because the platforms have
Did everybody forget about Parler? Parler was a thing. Kind of got shut down by all the major social media companies.
certain positions that are problematic. I think this exactly happens. It happens with everybody. Everybody does that.
lose 5,000 subscribers and Brian loses thousands and Ring of Fire loses thousands and everybody's losing thousands of subscribers. Understand that when the right loses, they get organized, they fund, and they create insanely effective organizations like Turning Point USA, investing in the Daily Wire and building out this huge network of right-wing ideas and influencers. So if you're feeling burnt out, I encourage you, take a break until the inauguration. It's months, okay? Mental health break, do it. But when we start canceling the subscription,
I think that another big reason why is that this is going to be probably something like, I don't really have like a, I don't have any data for this, so it's like 100% like a vibe check. I think that a lot of people follow and have left-wing ideas because they think that they're popular and for optics reasons. That's why, for example, like there's guys that try to act like they're more liberal or more woke than they are in order to hook up with girls. So if the position is that I'm going to try to have this viewpoint or I'm going to try to think like this, and then it's not popular, and it's not giving them the result that they want, they're going to stop having that opinion because they never actually had that opinion in the first place. They only had that opinion as basically as a social tool. And I think that's a very big component. It's always consistent to look better than everyone else. Yeah, exactly. And so I think that for them, optics matter more. And whenever they see that the optics are not in their favor, they roach out, because they don't really have a lot of these opinions in the first place, or they're not very strong or established. So
Yeah, they don't really know what they're talking about. They're usually just repeating things that they're hearing on social media and on the news and all of their favorite people saying. So they're just like, I'm going to say this thing. I don't know if I don't really care that it's true.
So as soon as they get confronted or challenged, they immediately stop having them. I think also younger people are more idealistic. Your politics tend to be. Yeah, I think
And they're
that's
dumber
true too. And so, like, yeah, younger people might be really idealistic. They see it not go their way, and then they get disillusioned. Yeah, I think that's extremely common. Out of fear of being attacked for wrong, I think. Yeah, exactly. Such a black and white perspective on everything. Well, no, what I'm saying is that there's like a lot of different components and reasons why somebody would do something.
If he's listing 8 reasons why, how is that black and white?
So like, I think that like I've pretty much gone over a lot of them, where like, I think that one of the reasons is because they're pushing a message that's not popular. And because it's not popular, people leave because they want to be on the winning team. I think that in other cases, it's because they were saying that one thing was going to happen and then it didn't happen.
A big thing that nobody tends to mention is that it's the pandering and then pushing of products that nobody wants.
I think that's another thing. And then the third thing is that the optics of being part of a group of people that you were actually only part of because it was socially advantageous. And then when you see that group not have that social advantage, well, then you leave because it was never about the group. It was about the advantage. So there's a lot of things that come together, and it's not one component. There are a lot of...
I feel like it's also kind of a cult, and now they don't have a leader. So can't have a cult without a leader.
Components to it. And so, no, I don't think it's one-dimensional at all. I think that I've tried to explain that.
We are in an algorithmic desubscription spiral right now.
Yeah.
Because when people start unsubscribing on YouTube, YouTube thinks, oh, we probably shouldn't recommend this content because it's generating a lot of unsubscribes. So then the content doesn't get recommended. And then the message doesn't get out. And then next election, they win by even more.
You're just gonna have to come up with better content, I guess.
So I do understand the instinct, but if we cede ground to them, they crush us everywhere. Now, we're up against a MAGA Supreme Court potentially till 2050. We'll talk about that later. We're up against a completely uninhibited Trump. I actually have an entire chapter in my forthcoming book, The Echo Machine, about exactly this. It's the introduction. In the introduction, I explain.
Are you seriously? I was just saying this. Pushing products that nobody cares about. Nobody's gonna buy your book and read it, dude. Except for maybe like, I don't know, maybe 1,000 people might buy it. Especially if everybody's leaving right now. Like, are you serious? You lost, nobody cares, nobody's buying your book.
How it's disgusting to me that when you engage in politics, you can't just find solutions. First, you've got to convince people climate change is even happening. You can't just find solutions because half the country doesn't even accept the science of vaccines. I outlined this in the...
That's not true. Right there. That's not true. I know plenty of people that not love, but like take vaccines when they feel like they need it. It's just the one vaccine. It's just the one. All the other ones are fine.
Well, I think that they don't accept the science because they don't know what it is. It's an education problem. And yeah, obviously you have to convince somebody that a problem is real in order for them to want to fix.
And the biggest problem with accepting the science is the people that are telling you what the science is don't know what the science is. Or they're lying about knowing what the science is. And then, sure, we might believe them the first time, but when they start changing the story, you know, you're starting to not believe them. And then they start to make people do it. It gets even worse. I see people lying about it, and then they're making people do it, and it's just like, this is dystopian. I've seen this in sci-fi movies. I've read this in books that we should not be doing this. Usually the things that work don't have to be mandated and forced on people.
Fix the problem. I think that's logical, right?
But I also make the point in the book that if you actually care about the world for ourselves, children, grandchildren, other people, families, friends, people we care about, when you disengage because they've gotten so extreme, you cede ground to them and you say, do whatever you want. I'm disengaging, do whatever you want.
Sure.
And we really can't do that, okay? So my request to you today is, please resubscribe to the YouTube channel.
Of course. And so, I think this is what happens with a lot of groups of people like this. The issue is that people don't want to be part of a group that is losing. And
they definitely don't want to be part of the group that's begging them to come back.
so there's like other components where like some people are angry because, and I'm not saying David Pakman said this, and I never did say that, But there were a lot of like left-leaning people, and I think this is especially true in mainstream media, that thought this was going to be a clean sweep, or they thought that Kamala Harris was going to win, etc. And that happened, and guess what? It didn't happen, and guess what? All of those people now are like, well, we're not going to trust you anymore because you were fucking lying. That's the reason why. It's funny he thinks he's going to win the subs back by gaslighting his own public.
We tried to tell everybody that, hey, you yourself are not wrong about things. You are being lied to. These people at the top are lying to you, and a lot of people around you are lying to you because they're getting something out of it. They're getting clicks, they're getting engagement, they're getting money, they're getting new powerful positions. It's not happening anymore. It's all falling apart because it doesn't work.
I think that people just want to be on the winning side. That's literally it.
And you know what the winning side is? Always. It's the side of good. Evil never prevails.